Coming up on this edition of Reel to Reel.
I'm Terry Hegarty. I'll tell you about the Catholic Schools Advancement Dinner, which raises funds to support Catholic schools in the diocese.
I'm Steve Kiltonic, here on the banks of the Connecticut River, where I'll have the story of a rowing club that offers instruction for all ages and abilities, from novice to intermediate, all the way up to competitive racing.
And from Westfield, a new outdoor Stations of the Cross celebrates nature, gardening, and volunteerism. These stories and more are just ahead on this edition of Reel to Reel from St. Stanislaus School in Chicopee.
From throughout Western New England and beyond, this is Reel to Reel, your window on the world around you. Here is your Reel to Reel host, Sharon Roulier.
Hello and welcome to Reel as we come to you today from St. Stanislaus School in Chicopee. On this weekend, we celebrate the Feast of St. Francis of Assisi, a saint near and dear to the hearts of the people here at St. Stanislaus Parish, which has been staffed by many Franciscan priests and sisters over the years. And in honor of St. Francis, this year the school dedicated a new statue of the Italian saint in its garden. The theme for the school year is based on a saying from St. Francis, "While we have time, let us do good." And speaking of doing good or well, several teachers and organizations were honored for their contributions to Catholic education this week at the 14th Annual Catholic Schools Advancement Dinner. Terry Hegarty attended the awards dinner and tells us more.
Teachers, community leaders, and a coach were honored at the 14th Annual Catholic Schools Advancement Dinner held at the Castle of Knights banquet facility in Chicopee this past week. Approximately 300 attendees were present to honor both individuals and groups for their support of Catholic education in the Diocese of Springfield. Bishop McDonald joined Franciscan Sister of St. Joseph Andrea Suzuki, Superintendent of Schools, in bestowing the awards. This year's dinner honoree was St. Mary Parish in Westfield.
It's really exciting to be recognized and be honored tonight at the Catholic Schools Advancement Dinner. 150 years as a parish, and since 1898 we've been in the Catholic ministry of Catholic schools, and tremendous growth, wonderful gifts that we've been able to give and to receive from all the youth that have come through our schools.
Father McGrath gave credit to the staff members of the parish and the school.
But I want to take this public moment to thank them. And you make St. Mary's Parish really what it is. Thank you so much.
Derek Kellogg, men's head basketball coach at the University of Massachusetts Amherst, received the Distinguished Alumni Award.
I'm somewhat humbled that I'm even put in a category of some of the people that were really rewarded tonight with their great service to the community and the Catholic environment. And it's humbling and honored that I'd be able to give back to people that have given so much to me and my family. The pillars of what I'm about were formulated a long time ago in the Catholic schools and the Catholic Church, and to come back and hopefully give some good words of encouragement or to spend some time with those people is really an honor.
Coach Kellogg attended Springfield's Our Lady of Hope and Holy Name elementary schools and graduated from Cathedral High School in 1991. He is a parishioner of St. Bridget Parish in Amherst, where he has frequently hosted free basketball clinics for the youth. As hundreds gathered for this 14th Annual Advancement Dinner, they not only celebrated Catholic schools, but they helped, via fundraising, advance the future of Catholic schools. Sponsored by the Diocese's Catholic Schools Office, the dinner supports tuition assistance programs. Distinguished Community Leader Awards went to the sponsors of the Pioneer Valley Excellence in Teaching program and Sister of Providence Mary Caritas Geary. Sister Mary, who turned 90 last August, was the longtime head of Springfield's Mercy Hospital and has been instrumental in many Sisters of Providence building projects.
God has been good to me, and I'm grateful for what I've been able to do, but most of all for the opportunities that I personally have had.
Daughter of Mary of the Immaculate Conception, Sister Mary Claire Milewski, was awarded the Catholic School's Lifetime Achievement Award. Sister Claire, who retired just last spring from St. Mary's School in Ware, began teaching 58 years ago.
I enjoyed going to work every morning, believe it or not, because as I told you, when you get in there with the kids, you may have a bad day, but when you go in there, they keep you on your toes. They're telling you different things. You never know what's going to happen.
Student speakers for the evening were Timothy Jones of Pittsfield's St. Joseph Central High School and Emily Jackson from Cathedral High School.
Tonight was all about young people. Everyone, Derek Kellogg was great, but I must say that those two young people who spoke tonight, you know, that's the hope of the future. They're really the hope of the church, but they're the hope of society as well.
A hope that is reflected in the support of so many generous Catholic school advocates across the diocese. Reporting for Reel to Reel, this is Terry Hegarty.
And congratulations to all of the recipients this year. As we celebrate the Feast of St. Francis, our next story is a wonderful one about nature and gardening and the power of volunteers. From Westfield, Peggy Weber and the story behind an outdoor Stations of the Cross.
What do you get when you mix one aspiring Eagle Scout with 2 retired parishioners? Well, the result is a beautifully landscaped outdoor Stations of the Cross garden at Our Lady of the Blessed Sacrament Parish in Westfield. This place of quiet and beauty began when Matt Peralt approached his pastor, Father Dan Pekalik, about an Eagle Scout project.
I was trying to think of different places to do it, and I didn't really have a whole lot of ideas, so I went to Father Dan. Like, is there anything that maybe the church parish could use to be enhanced or something like that? And he thought about it for a little while, and then we talked, and he eventually came up with this.
This, of course, is an outdoor Stations prayer garden. The stations themselves came from St. Louis de France Parish in West Springfield. The effort to create it came from many places. Matt and his fellow scouts from Troop 109 of St. Mary Parish in Westfield held a car wash to raise funds in order to buy materials to build the station shelters.
We started by measuring the stations, the ceramic pieces, and then I came up with the design, and then it was just kind of work in projects.
He worked with his dad, Greg, and his mom, Janice. He was inspired by the fact that his dad and his older brother, Evan, also are Eagle Scouts.
We figured out what the whole area looked like maybe in the spring of last year, and then we started to, okay, we can put one on this tree, and then we just kind of made the path based on the way the landscape was.
Matt's mom helped him paint the beautiful ceramic stations. She also suggested adding the prayer box at the beginning of the garden path. His dad helped with the construction. In June, the outdoor stations were completed, and Matt went off to serve as a camp counselor at a Boy Scout camp in Connecticut. Around that time, Cindy and Paul Lucier approached Father Dan about doing some gardening work for the parish.
We spoke with Father Dan about taking care of one of the gardens for our project, and we didn't know about this project at the time, and he picked us up on that and offered us the option of putting some plantings in the Stations garden.
It became a true labor of love, and the couple spent hours adding plants and rock sculpture and more mulch to enhance Matthew's project.
We joined this parish approximately 3 years ago, and we just felt very comfortable here, and we wanted to become a part of it. And it just seemed a natural thing to be able to create or add to this garden that Matthew has started. And it just feels really good to be able to give something to the parish.
The outdoor stations and garden actually has become a work of many. Several parishioners donated plantings, and one added a deer to match the one from the former Blessed Sacrament Rectory. Cindy and Paul and Matt actually met for the first time when being interviewed by Reel to Reel.
I was amazed at what Matthew did for his project. I think it's admirable for a teenager to take on something and complete it and have a vision.
And Paul added that it wasn't just the parish that benefited from this project.
everything we've done, we've gotten back twofold. It's just amazing. Our life is getting better every day just because we're giving a little of ourselves to the parish and to our fellow human beings. A wonderful experience, and you don't have to be afraid, because if you're doing something good, God will take care of you and make it all work.
With teamwork and hard work, a spiritual and ecological transformation has created a place of beauty and prayer for all. For Reel to Reel, I'm Peggy Weber.
I love this story because my father is an avid gardener and beekeeper, and this summer he harvested figs from a fig tree that he's been growing for several years now. He brings it indoors in the winter, and let me tell you, this thing is getting huge. Still to come on Reel to Reel. Holyoke Rose working to make the river accessible to all. And Mark Giza will be by with another edition of Real Culture. It's all still to come on this edition of Reel to Reel from St. Stanislaus School in Chicopee.
The Chalice of Salvation, your weekly spiritual connection. I'm Passionist Brother Terrence Gale and your Chalice host, inviting you to join us on Sunday morning at 10. Join us this week as we welcome Father Robert Mesco as our advanced presider, parochial vicar at St. Mary Parish in Westfield. The Chalice of Salvation, your spiritual connection, Sunday morning at 10, here on 22 News.
I'm Dan Dumas with your Reel to Reel news brief. Local members of the legal profession were honored last Sunday at St. Michael's Cathedral with the annual St. Thomas More Awards. This took place as part of the annual Red Mass. Sharon Roulier attended and prepared this report.
8 local legal professionals received the prestigious St. Thomas More Award at a Mass celebrated by Springfield Bishop Timothy McDonnell. The 12th annual Diocesan Red Mass, a long-standing tradition in the Catholic Church, invokes the blessing and guidance of the Holy Spirit upon the legal community. Bishop McDonnell urged the law professionals to stand tall with Thomas More, a 16th century Chancellor of England who died a martyr for his faith. He refused to declare King Henry VIII as the head of the Church of England. Honoree Judge William Hadley, a parishioner of St. Mary Parish in Longmeadow, says he was humbled to receive the award, calling St. Thomas More a role model for judges and lawyers.
As judges, we have to judge people, but sometimes patience and kindness and trying to act with love as well as justice and follow the law. Sometimes hard to do all those things at the same time, but we do our best.
Other honorees included Springfield Superior Court Judge John Augustini, John Fitzgerald, Assistant Superintendent at the Hampden County House of Correction, Springfield Attorney Richard Morrissey, Springfield Attorney Carla Newton, Springfield Attorney Maurice Powell, Springfield Attorney Paula Carroll Trudeau, and Pittsfield Judge Paul Vrabel. The Red Mass dates back to the 13th century when it officially opened the term of the court for most European countries.
Finally, Pope Francis had another busy week. First, he made the long-anticipated announcement of the date for the canonization of former popes John XXIII and John Paul II for next spring on Divine Mercy Sunday, April 27th. Then he convened the Council of Advisor Cardinals, a group that includes Boston Cardinal Sean O'Malley. We learn more now in this CNS story.
An international council of cardinal advisors wrapped up 3 days of meetings with Pope Francis this week as part of a broader effort to reform the Vatican bureaucracy. The 8 cardinals, which include Boston Cardinal Sean O'Malley and Sydney Cardinal George Pell, were appointed in April by the Pope to advise him on the governance of the Universal Church. The Pope and his cardinal advisors are laying out plans to completely overhaul the Roman Curia and underline its role as being in service to the universal church and the local churches. Some major themes that were the focus of discussion included the role and responsibilities of the Vatican's Secretary of State, the revamping of the World Synod of Bishops, and the Church's attention to the role and responsibility of the laity. The reform of the Curia, which is the Church's central administrative offices, will involve much more than cosmetic touch-ups or changes to the apostolic constitution on the Roman Curia called Pastor Bonus. Pastor Bonus, published in 1988, was the last major set of changes in the Roman Curia. It was largely an effort at streamlining by reassigning responsibilities among the various offices rather than an extensive reform. This time around, however, a whole new constitution will be drawn up that reflects a whole new way of thinking about the Curia's structure, focus, and how it works. Another topic was the reform of the Synod of Bishops, which organizes periodic meetings of bishops from around the world to advise the Pope on specific subjects. Pope Francis has suggested that he wants to make it into a permanent advisory body and that there might be possible revisions to the body statutes. However, the Vatican downplayed expectations that the group's discussions will lead to major changes in the near future. The 8 cardinals are expected to continue their work as they return to their archdiocese or other duties, and they will convene again at the Vatican early next year.
And just a reminder, in celebration of the canonization of Blessed John Paul II, Catholic Communications will host a pilgrimage to Poland in the footsteps of the late great pontiff. Father Gary Daly will be spiritual director, and he will be joined by our very own Sharon Roulier. If you're interested, there will be an information session this Thursday, October 10th, at the Bishop John Marshall Center behind St. Michael's Cathedral. You can join us there or request more information by leaving your name and address at 413-452-0670. Information can be sent to you. But space will be very limited to allow for a deeply prayerful experience by all. And you can get more information on that event, as well as keep up to date on all the happenings, both here in the Diocese of Springfield and beyond, by logging on to our news and information website, iobserve.org. That's iobserve.org. I'm Dan Dumas, and that's your Reel to Reel News Brief.
The Hartford stage celebrates a milestone. The Goodspeed Opera House has the Most Happy Fella ready for you, and the most exciting new date film is out there. Julia Louis-Dreyfus and James Gandolfini star in a great comedy. Let's look at this week's Real Culture. Do you really love theater? Well, you will love this wonderful celebration of 50 years of the Hartford stage, a year-long traveling exhibit which will be taking up residence at the New Britain Museum of American Art. For 50 years, the Hartford Stage Company has given the local public the very best in theater, and now you can see what went into making those productions so perfect. This wonderful display will be in New Britain, Connecticut, October 2nd through the 16th. Visit www.hartfordstage.org to see the details and watch this magic come to life. And now off to the Napa Valley. Okay, not really the Napa Valley, but the Goodspeed Opera House's production of the musical The Most Happy Fella by the great composer Frank Lesser. The story of a vineyard owner who orders a mail-order bride will have you singing in the streets. Big musical numbers like Standing on the Corner and Joey, Joey, Joey will take us back to a time when musicals were grand in style. Call the box office at 860-873-8668 for your best seats.
You know, my friend Eva was just telling me that there is not one guy at this party that she's attracted to.
It's okay, there's no one here I'm attracted to either.
All right, great.
And now for parents looking for a light little date film, well, why not check out Enough Said with Julia Louis-Dreyfus and the late, great James Gandolfini. The film is a sweet, touching date film with a mixture of true comedy and even a few tears. Now, without giving away too much, the film follows a couple who want more from life. And what they really want from life is a partner to laugh with and share life's ups and downs. Both Dreyfuss and Gandolfini play well off each other, and they are in their very best acting form. The film works because of the charm and the delight that is in this picture. Go and laugh, because I had a ball. It's rated PG-13.
What, were you neglected as a kid or what?
Well, I was kind of raised like a veal. I was put in a dark room and fed and told not to move.
You can see my reviews, as well as read other movie reviews provided by the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops online at iobserve.org. That's iobserve.org. And if you're looking for a musical to see in our area, why not check out the Exit 7 Players production of Les Mis, playing at the Chestnut Street Theater in Ludlow, Massachusetts. This great 1987 Tony Award-winning musical will have you cheering from your seats. For this week's Real Culture, I'm Mark Giza. Enjoy this fabulous weekend.
Finally today, as we celebrate St. Francis and his great love of all nature, our next story is on peace and serenity that is found when you're out on the water. This is the feeling of participants in Holyoke Rows, a program that set out to make the river and rowing accessible to everyone. Steve Kiltonick has our story.
It's late summer, just downstream from the I-91 bridge on the Connecticut River, and there's a flurry of activity. On the water, there's boats of all types, giant 8-man racing shells. A doubles crew goes zipping by, and there are those rowing solo. All are racing against the clock. It's the annual Paper City Regatta, which is made possible by what may be one of Holyoke's best-kept secrets, an organization called Holyoke Rows. Stephanie Moore is its founder and local rowing guru. A transplanted New Englander, Stephanie is attracted to the physicality and dual aspect of the sport.
I think there are a lot of people out there who tell you, the wonderful team nature of it and how it's all team, there's no I, and that's simply not true. When there are two boats on the water and you want to be in the first boat, it's all about you to get yourself in that first boat. So there's an individual nature to it, and there's also a team aspect to it.
Stephanie admits to an elite upbringing, attending an elite rowing school, the University of Virginia, and coaching crew at an elite college, Trinity. But in 2000, she wanted to start a program that was the antithesis of elitism, for those who didn't necessarily have all the resources or athletic gifts.
I used to come to Holyoke to the Children's Museum with my own kids a lot, and I would ask friends to go, and there was like, oh, I'm not going to Holyoke, So right away, Holyoke was the underdog, and I sort of like that.
Stephanie says Holyoke Row's mission is to reach beyond the traditional rowing population and make the river accessible for everyone. It offers youth and adult learn-to-row programs, as well as adaptive rowing programs for people with disabilities. While the adult programs pay the bills to operate the boathouse, Holyoke Rows uses rowing as a vehicle to show urban kids, in particular, the benefits of the outdoors.
So we bring kids down here and we'll show them eagles, because there's an eagle's nest right downstream, and they're like, really? I thought they were all dead.
There are programs from middle and high schools, and best of all, kids' programs are free. More importantly, it teaches life skills like teamwork and leadership. Sister Jean Branshaw started rowing at Holyoke Rows 3 years ago. Today, she competes in various regattas in a mixed quad group.
She helped coach our high school team last year and was a huge, huge resource. From everything from tying kids' shoes to helping get boats down to, being a disciplinarian to being a friend.
I think Holyoke Rows is the best kept secret in Holyoke as far as all the activities that are down here, all the people that are down here. It's a community. As far as rowing, for me, it's not just an exercise, though it's a good exercise. For me, there's a real spiritual dimension to it, because you're out on the water, it's quiet, it's you, it's the Creator, it's the Spirit that moves me along. I often find myself praying as I'm rowing.
At Holyoke Rows, there are no limitations.
She won this medal at a race in Philadelphia.
Congratulations.
Our adaptive program is probably the program I'm most proud of and most connected to. And the goal of the program is to recognize that people with disabilities are part of a family. And we will take anyone, for whatever reason, who needs help getting out in the river and give them that support. So we have people with cognitive issues, we have a significant number of brain injured folks, we have some line rowers, a lot of spinal cord injuries or mobility issues.
Jim Brooks, who has multiple sclerosis, met Stephanie 5 years ago. She urged him to give rowing a try. To prepare for the event, Jim rows 3 to 4 times a week by himself or with his rowing partner, Bo. Physically, he says he's in better shape now than he's ever been. As for his mental state,
I think my self-image may be almost on the par with what it was when I was not a disabled person. It really brought me out of a shell, brought me out of depression, made me feel good about just being a human being again. When you're out in the water, everything goes away. All your pain, all your disability.
Barbara Black has a degenerative retina condition that makes her legally blind. She was also recruited by Stephanie over 10 years ago to row. Now she crews twice a week and sculls once a week in a double. And she even rows solo.
Doing this, I feel sort of competent. I think I've gotten a lot stronger. It just seems like it's a good thing to do. And being out like this summer in a single is pretty bizarre. I mean, the first few times it's just like, I can't believe I'm sitting in the river in a boat by myself. This is kind of wild.
Barbara, I'm going to push you off. You're headed out into the river, okay? Good luck with your race.
When she's alone, Barbara communicates through a headset with Stephanie, who is her eyes on the water. The big event for Holyoke Rows is the annual Paper City Regatta. Hundreds of boat enthusiasts make it down to the Connecticut River to launch boats of all types, from adaptive to single kayaks, all the way up to competitive 8-man racing shells. And they have one thing in common, a love for rowing. The Paper City Regatta started 9 years ago.
It's what I'd like to say is the first inclusive regatta, first one I'm aware of, where we both mix adaptive rowers and able-bodied rowers.
Everyone is here for everyone else. It's a whole community event. Different boat clubs from all over the area come, and they all come as their communities. Everybody lends a hand. Everybody just makes it a fun event.
As for the future, Stephanie hopes to build and expand upon the youth, adult, and adaptive programs, as well as reach out to the community through new offerings like the Returning Vets program. And with her ability to attract new rowers, Holyoke Rows will no doubt continue to grow. For Reel to Reel, I'm Steve Kiltonick.
If you want to join or learn more about Holyoke Rows, you can log on to their website at holyokerows.org. And before we close out our show today, a friendly reminder, during the month of October, parishes will be collecting donations to help offset their share of the Catholic Mirror. Since its inception 3 years ago, this magazine has become a popular and much sought-after source for all the good news there is to be found in our Catholic community. But to allow everyone to continue to receive this magazine, we ask your help by sending in a small donation either directly to your parish or through a collection envelope mailed to all homes. Your parish will be credited for your donation, so please do your part in keeping the good news coming by helping out in our Catholic Mirror Parish donation drive. And for this week, that's Reel to Reel. Our thanks to the faculty, staff, and student body here at St. Stanislaus School in Chicopee for hosting our show today. Remember, for all of the latest news on the church in Western Massachusetts and around the globe, we have continuous updates on our website, iobserve.org. There you can view stories and entire episodes of this program seen right here on Reel to Reel, as well as read news reports from the acclaimed Catholic News Service. That's iobserve.org. Please join me at this same time next week for another edition of Reel to Reel, your window on the world around you. Have a wonderful week.